Have you noticed that focusing feels harder than ever before? Most people can't sit quietly for even a few minutes anymore. We check our phones constantly, switch between apps every few seconds, and consume endless streams of information every single day. But something far more dangerous may be happening beneath the surface. Modern technology isn't just distracting people. It may be rewiring the human brain itself. Attention spans are collapsing. Deep thinking is disappearing. Patience is dying. And the scariest part is, most people don't even realize it's happening to them because the modern world was designed to keep your mind distracted, addicted, and unable to focus for long enough to truly think. And once a society loses its attention, it becomes far easier to control.
You sit down at an empty desk. The goal is simple. Finish one specific, focused task. You open a tab, or perhaps check a single incoming message. Then, the clock simply skips forward. 60 minutes disappear into a haze of fragmented short-form videos, auto-playing sound bites, and infinite scrolling. Stepping away from the screen, you experience a physical contradiction. Your mind races with a static-like, overstimulated energy, yet your body feels hollowed out and deeply heavy. The immediate reaction is guilt, followed by the assumption that you lack discipline. But this trance state is not a failure of personal willpower. The inability to stay present is a symptom of a reality where the brain is being physically rewired against its own interests. The human brain evolved to process a finite amount of natural information. Today, we feed it endless algorithmic loops, hyper-curated content feeds, and a volume of artificial daily inputs that dwarfs anything our ancestors experienced in a lifetime. The mind constantly tries to sort and process this deluge of data. It fails. The resulting cognitive friction produces a lingering, invisible exhaustion that follows us everywhere. The quiet, systematic decay of our biological capacity for deep thought represents the defining crisis of our generation. We are moving past mere distraction. To understand exactly how this decay happens, we have to look past our outward behavior and examine the chemistry occurring inside the human mind. Evolutionary biologists study something called a supernormal stimulus, an artificial trigger that elicits a stronger reaction than anything found in nature. A 15-second video built to deliver immediate visual shock or emotional payoff acts exactly like this. This diagram illustrates a normal baseline of dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with motivation and reward. With every screen swipe, that baseline shatters. The brain is flooded with unnaturally high, rapid spikes of cheap chemical reward. The human body cannot maintain this level of intensity. To survive the chemical flood, it undergoes habituation. The receptors adapt. The baseline required just to feel normal shifts upward, and the height of those same spikes begins to dull. As the threshold for engagement artificially rises, our biological attention span physically narrows. Normal paced reality, a physical book, a conversation, a quiet walk, suddenly feels agonizingly slow. Without an immediate engineered chemical reward, the modern mind begins to panic. Patience for slow, complex activity evaporates. These technology platforms actively train the human brain to reject silence, stillness, and single-tasking. The physical damage extends downward from the brain's reward centers, directly impacting the autonomic nervous system, the network regulating our basic survival functions. For thousands of years, a sudden, unpredictable noise in a perfectly quiet environment signaled a physical predatory threat. Today, constant pings, vibrations, and digital alerts hit the exact same ancient receptors. This model of the nervous system shows the body's reaction to those signals. Instead of experiencing rare, acute stress, the human body is forced into a perpetual low-grade state of fight or flight. Maintaining this defensive posture requires immense physiological resources. By the end of an ordinary day, those resources run dry, resulting in the heavy, profound emotional exhaustion so many people accept as normal. We are trapped in a digital ecosystem that extracts our biological energy, leaving us physically drained even when we haven't moved a muscle. This internal biological exhaustion eventually bleeds outward, eroding the long-term components of the human experience. True creative incubation requires mental empty space. It demands the silence and boredom that our devices have eradicated from daily life. Our interpersonal relationships fracture in the exact same way. Deep connection requires giving someone our undivided emotional presence, a resource we no longer possess in reserve. The modern mind attempts to substitute deep human interaction with a constant, desperate stream of digital impulses. As we surrender our nervous systems to digital noise, the essential complex parts of our humanity quietly fade away. We live inside a meticulously engineered digital ecosystem, one that permeates every aspect of how we work, communicate, and navigate the physical world. The architecture of this distraction is designed so that merely participating in normal society practically guarantees mental fragmentation. Reclaiming focus is a biological defense against rising anxiety and depression, shielding the mind in ways that simple productivity hacks cannot. In a culture optimized to hijack your attention, choosing to sit in silence, read a physical book, or engage in sustained thinking operates as an act of cultural rebellion. The effort to reclaim our undivided attention is the only way we keep our minds from being fully absorbed into the machine.